Hi, my name is Jovy Rockey, and I am currently a mayoral candidate here in Winona, Minnesota. I've lived in Winona for almost 12 years now, and over the last 12 years I've had a wide variety of experiences that have brought me to the point where I decided I'd like to run for mayor. I am a mother of 3 boys. I met my partner here in Winona about 10 years ago, who's a 5th generation Winonan. So there's a lot of history there on that side of the family. I, for the last 8 years, have run a business, Jovy Rockey Jewelry. So I am a creative business owner, jewelry artist at heart. I've owned a gallery downtown for the last 2 years. A brick and mortar where I sell not only my own work where I have my studio housed, but I also offer the work of over 75 other different independent artists. Over the last 11 years or so, I have done a lot of work within the community. I have worked on a lot of different committees, mostly surrounding arts organization and art events. And just really have had an opportunity to see and interact with all different kinds of people in Winona. My heart really lies in helping people in Winona to foster their own success here, whether that's through entrepreneurship, through working with a manufacturing or local business, whatever that might look like for them. That's really where my heart lies. And I decided to run for mayor because I saw a lot of progress over the last few years here in Winona. And I have this great vision that we can really become this amazing destination, not only for the arts and for outdoor recreation, but also for a place to work, a place to raise your family, and to really thrive. Some of the experience that I have to bring to this position is really my work in the community over the years. As I said before, I've done a lot of committee work, typically surrounding arts organizing. I spearheaded the Winona Artisan Market independently for about 6 years before I handed it off to another person in the community. I serve on the retail committee for Winona Main Street. I currently serve on the American Indian Parent Advisory Committee through the school district. And then I'm always there for all of the different kinds of downtown development meetings, anything that really has to do with the city, which is something I've just always done. I've been really civically involved. My experience as a creative business owner really gives me, I think, a opportunity to look at things maybe in a different way. I am very familiar with goal mapping and just trying to find ways to get to where we want to be and maybe thinking creatively outside of the box. And I think that's a really big strength for me in this position. It's important for students to get out the vote because they are a huge part of the fabric of this community. Whether they're thinking about voting locally, voting nationally, voting is what gives you power in this democracy, and I am a big proponent for utilizing that power. But I really encourage people to think about and research who you would be voting for in a local setting, because those are the people and those are the positions that really impact you most dramatically and most immediately in your life. My views on higher education are that of opportunity and a place where we can learn not only in this educational setting but learn more about ourselves, especially students who are just coming out of college and really finding themselves in their adulthood and the direction that they want to go in and the people that they want to be, at least at this moment in their life. I think that Winona State really provides a space for people to explore the things that not only they're passionate about, but maybe further their education in a really specific area that they know that they want to be in. But also if they're uncertain, that it gives them the space to really pursue all different kinds of things. And again, just provide that opportunity to really figure out who they want to be and what direction do they want to go in and how do they want to contribute to society. As far as Winona State being in this community and in Southeast Minnesota, not only are they a really great place for opportunity for employment because they do employ a really significant number of people, but also it's them having a presence in this community provides ways that we can collaborate, that we can give mentorship to students, and that students can really influence what happens within the community. And it's going to be mutually beneficial, where the city and our community really benefits from those new ideas, those fresh perspectives, and just new faces and new vibrancy, but also then the student gets the opportunity to have some lived experience, hopefully, and some experience with our small businesses or working within, social justice causes or whatever they may be that they're really passionate about. We need to be working together so that we can facilitate that and make it happen. As mayor, I think there are a number of ways that we can focus on protecting the environment. One of those ways would be to champion how we steward the land through outdoor recreation development. I think that that's a real opportunity for us as we develop trails and we do different things here in Winona, that we also approach that with a mindfulness of protection. And I believe that when we get out and we use these trails and we enjoy them, that we as a community begin to take ownership of them, and we will strive to protect them. Another way that I see that happening is through our Citizens Environmental Quality Commission, and making sure that that we have people filling the seats on that commission who are interested in protecting our environment, and that commission really focuses on a number of things, including water quality. I know they're currently working on a grant for a new electrical car charging station, which will be a collaborative effort and really focus kind of on the region, and as us being in this particular corridor, a place for people to stop as they travel and hopefully visit Winona for a little bit while they're charging their car. And I would be advocating for all of those things. And I think there are a number of ways that we can approach environmental protection, including, another thing that this commission does is looking at some of the rules that we have on pollinator plantings in our boulevards. I'm a big proponent of that, and I have one of those boulevard plantings personally, and I would love to see that in not only more homes and us being able to really guide people on how to do that, but I'd also love to see it more in our public spaces, so utilizing some sections of our parks and things to have beautiful pollinator gardens. When considering environmental protection, I would also want to make sure that we continue to focus on what the long-term and short-term effects would be of any project that we do, whether it's new development, outdoor recreation, anything that we're really doing within the city. I would want to make sure that those are all a big part of that consideration. As far as immigration, I would not be here if it wasn't for immigration. My mother was an immigrant from the Philippines, and on my father's side, my grandparents were immigrants from Poland. And so I really believe that immigrants are a huge part of the fabric that makes us American and what makes this country great. And I really believe that as far as like what they contribute to the community is new perspectives and new ideas and new ways to look at things that maybe we wouldn't have considered otherwise. And I also know that a number of immigrants end up becoming entrepreneurs and business owners and really contribute to our economy, not only as workers, but as I said, business owners. And when I think about some of my most favorite restaurants or some of my favorite cities that I visited, it's generally people who are not born and raised in America, who are offering these different types of services and food and interesting things. So I really believe it's an important part of who we are and an important contribution to our community. As mayor, I would advocate for all the people in this community. Some of the ways that I would do that would be through representation. Not everyone wants to run for something and be a public servant in that capacity, but the city does have a variety of different commissions where the mayor can make appointments to. Through this campaign, I have had the real pleasure to connect with a variety of leaders from our BIPOC communities and developed relationships with them. And I'm hoping that through those relationships and through those communities, there will be people who would be interested in stepping forward and being parts of these commissions so that, again, that we have more representation there. I would also be interested in finding some mentorship opportunities. And again, just really empowering and reinforcing that representation in our city. But I would love to mentor people who are just interested in knowing what the mayor does, or how does city council work, or what does it mean to be on the Historic Preservation Commission or on the Planning Commission. Those are the kinds of things that I would really be championing, as well as just making sure that people are informed. So when we communicate to the community, we are making sure that we are communicating to all corners of the community and really understanding that people receive information in different ways and making the efforts that we are actually reaching those people. One of the other ways that I would also advocate is really supporting our Human Rights Commission and giving them as much resources that I can as a mayor, but also as an individual in this community. And if you're not familiar with that commission, they are made up of a group of people who take in various kinds of complaints for those who feel like their rights have been violated, and they serve as an advocate and sometimes a neutral party to help negotiate between the two parties of the complaint. And I really think that it's important that people know that this commission even exists and that they have that as a resource, whether they're a student or a longtime member of this community. They are there to help serve, and I would be there to certainly support them, and as I said, give them whatever resources that I can as mayor. I know a lot of people want to know about how the mayor will work within our police department and how that relates to social justice. And what I see right now with our current Winona Police Department is just making sure that we have a very open dialogue, not only between myself and the department, but also the community and the department. I would advocate for them to continue doing various trainings, including implicit bias and de-escalation techniques. One thing that I would certainly inquire and be looking to ensure is that we are quantifying the effectiveness of this type of training. I would advocate or continue to advocate for the new crisis support staff that will be added to the police department, because I believe that they can help with de-escalation, they can help with various calls that have to do with mental health and addiction issues and anything else that's crisis related. And I just believe that we, can facilitate some accountability of the department from the community. But again, it's just making sure that we keep those lines of communication open, that we do it in a way that I think is beneficial for everyone, to make sure the department is not only serving the community in a meaningful way, but also that we are doing things that may be unconventional for other departments, things like mindfulness training, to make sure the people who have to go out on these calls, who do have to deal with a lot of crisis issues, have that in their toolkit to be mindful and to be present. And I think that will help them do their jobs and help them, as people too, as they, serve our community. And I would want to make sure that every person in this community feels safe and that they feel protected regardless of who they are or what their experiences are. Thank you so much for this opportunity to hear what I have to say, to find out a little bit more about me and the things that are really important to me. I am really fortunate to have this opportunity to run for a position like this in our beautiful city. I hope that you will get out and vote, and I hope that you would consider voting for me to be the next mayor of Winona.